upcoming adventure puzzle game, Island of Winds, is set in an ethereal open world filled with creatures from the myths and legends of Icelandic folklore. Drawing inspiration from nature, folklore and history, the game revolves around Brynhildur, the balance keeper, who must go on a journey of discovery when her homestead is attacked and her mentor abducted. The developers said of the game, "The core gameplay involves a rich story, extensive lore and intriguing puzzles, as well as legendary creatures, spellcasting and a special focus on empathy encounters." In this video I'm going to look at the newly released trailer for the game and also look at the creatures and character designs. Let's take a look at Island of Winds. We may as well start with the game's protagonist, Brynhildur. She doesn't make much of an appearance in the trailer. We briefly see her running away from a monster at the end of the trailer. On the game's website, she is described as being born into a poor family where she was sold into servitude at a young age and grew up in a large farm without any control over her life. For reasons unknown, or perhaps best forgotten, Brynhildur fled to the Highlands, choosing the hazardous, lonesome life of exile for a chance at freedom. It was there, roaming the wilds, where Hrymja chanced upon her and brought Brynhildur under her wing as part of the Balance Keeper clan. She has lived among them ever since, slowly adapting to her new home in the fjord of Dreitil, as well as foraging for a new life, one in which she might truly be herself. But now tragedy has struck, and Brynhildur finds herself alone once again, with a difficult journey ahead. I imagine we'll see more of her character in future trailers. We do see some more of her in some screenshots, which I'll be showing throughout this video. Hrymja is the chief of the Balance Keeper clan and mentor to Brynhildur. She has been sensitive to the elemental magic since childhood and lived in close contact with the hidden powers of the land. In her youth, Hrymja confided in the wrong people and was sentenced to death for witchcraft, a common fate for people overly sensitive to magic. Fortunately, her doom did not go unnoticed by the Balance Keepers. They were able to rescue the young witch and put her into hiding at their base in Fjord Dreitil, where she rose through the ranks and eventually succeeded as clan leader. Hrymja has devoted her life to keeping a natural balance on the Isle of Winds, as well as doing her best to help those in need, although it seems her past may have returned to haunt her. One of the first things we see in the trailer is a creepy woman looking through the grass. Brynhildur, the trailer's narrator, says, "Things once hidden can now be seen." There is a gameplay still posted on the developer's Twitter that shows us this character in a cemetery. The text on the heads-up display says, "A restless spirit, talk to the ghost." There is also a development video that gives us a better look at the ghost and the cemetery. It seems like whatever's happening on this island is causing inhabitants to see creatures and entities they could not see before. Not shown in the video, but mentioned on the developer's blog. Móri is Brynhildur's woolly ram, a sheep breed on the Island of Wind. The developers say, he can be good for advice on occasion, but he is mostly an indecisive, codependent follower. Is Móri a misunderstood genius, or just a silly ram? Only time will tell. It will be interesting to see how this indie dev will implement this AI-controlled companion. Hopefully he doesn't get in the way too much.
No. Leon, I think they shot something in my neck. Leon, what's gonna happen to us?
This wouldn't be a Scandinavian game if it didn't have trolls in it. We see two creatures that resemble trolls in the trailer. One is waking up from the side of a cliff face, and the other is chasing our protagonist at the end of the trailer. I'm not sure what role they will play in the world. The developer's blog says of the creatures, they can be the most caring and kind of creature, but some can be extremely hazardous. You will be able to learn more about them in the Island of Winds. There is a potential third troll in the trailer. This poor little creature is hiding in the grass crying. I think this will be one of the kind of trolls the developers mentioned. It may even be found in the same grassy cemetery as the ghost, unless I'm just seeing things. Trolls come in all shapes and sizes, and we can find a few more images of them on the game's website. In some of these images, they are referred to as rock giants, so perhaps these are two distinct races that live on the island. The majestic elven lady, Vor of the Oasis, is an important character Brynhildur and her sidekick Móri meet in the game. She is a magic and mythical elf who is described as the keeper of the oasis. The locations in the game range from the fiery lava of Shul to the treacherous Yakla Lagoon and the gleaming obsidian shore. With an island surrounded by water with plenty of watery landscapes, I'm sure she will play an important part in the adventure. Another creature I'd like to mention is the Hafgúfa, Guardian of the Sea. This creature is only mentioned in the description of the trailer, so nothing is known about their role or appearance. However, there is a real-life tale of the Icelandic creature Hafgúfa. It's a giant squid, one of the largest monsters in the sea. It was first sighted in the 12th century and first documented in the 13th century in the Old Norse text Kong un Skugga. In the work they describe the beast, saying its appearance is more like an island than a fish. The late 14th century version of the Icelandic saga Uvar Udur gives an account of the Hafgúfa. It is the largest monster in the sea. It is the nature of this creature to swallow men and ships, and even whales and everything else within reach. It stays submerged for days, then rears its head and nostrils above the surface, and stays that way, at least until the change of tide. I have mentioned the Balance Keeper clan a few times at this point. To get a better sense of who they are, here is the developer's description of them. The role of the Balance Keepers is to work as mediators between the natural world and the realm of humans. Through their intimate relationship with the environment, they are able to draw magical power from the hidden creatures of the land, the Elemental Keepers. They represent different aspects of the environment and appear in various forms. Trolls are the overseers of earthen elements. Elves are the overseers of airy elements. But even rarer are those Elemental Keepers who, according to legend, reside over special areas or stand watch over specific animals. To regular humans, these guardians all seem like supernatural beings, as they well should be, for as long as the world remains in balance, the Elemental Keepers shall remain hidden to all but the most sensitive people. If one shows up in your area, you can be sure that trouble is truly at hand. Brynhildur is one of the Balance Keeper clan. Ordinary folk live in their daily lives. Until now, they lived in harmony with nature. Next are the Skuggabaldur and the Skoffín. The Skuggabaldur is the offspring of the male house cat and a female Arctic fox. Due to YouTube guidelines, I cannot show how this creature came to be. These shadow cats are based on a mythical Icelandic creature. In the tale there is a Skuggabaldur who was particularly harmful towards the sheep in the county of Húmabryðja. The Skuggabaldur was found in its burrow, where a flock of men had cornered it and proceeded to stab it. As the Skuggabaldur was being stabbed, it said, "Tell the cat at Bollister that Skuggabaldur was stabbed today in the ravine." Later that day, the man who delivered the final blow came to Ballister, staying the night. That evening, the man told the tale of his hunt as he lay on his bed. An old tomcat sat on a crossbeam above him. When the man recited the words spoken by the Skuggabaldur, the tomcat leapt down on the man, grabbing hold of his neck, using its sharp teeth and claws to lock on. The cat held on so tightly, the only way it could be removed was by chopping off its head. By the time the cat was removed, The man was long dead. The Skoffín are mysterious creatures on the island that are said to be a crossbreed of a fox and a cat. Again, the YouTube guidelines. Let's move on. It is said that their stare can kill anyone foolish enough to approach them, but using a mirror, they can be defeated upon seeing their own reflection. I think this striking creature we see in the trailer may be some sort of albino variant of these creatures. In the trailer we see the silhouette of a woman surrounded by spiders. She is Húmabryðja, the spider creature. Again, not many details are given for this creature. The developers talk about the creation of her character in their blog. You know the old cliche, it's a lot of work making a game. Well, it's really true. There is a long way from a story written on a piece of paper and sketches of characters in a notebook towards a ready-to-play game, and almost an endless number of tasks to finish. One of them is creating characters and creatures, just like this magnificent creature we call the Húmabryðja. Is she a woman or a spider? It is one of the many mysteries on the Island of Winds. I imagine she will be an early boss in the game. It is possible that she is one of the elemental keepers mentioned earlier. From the concept art, she appears to be a weaver of sorts. It will be interesting to see what role her character ends up playing. There are a few creatures I've not covered in this video because information on them was scarce. Creatures such as the powerful, majestic Bear King and whatever the f this thing is. I planned to release this video a few months ago when the trailer was first released, but the developer kept on revealing new information on their Twitter, so I added these things to the video, which pushed it back a little bit. I highly recommend following their Twitter if you're interested in the game. I have the Steam link down in the description if you'd like to add the game to your wishlist. I might revisit this game when more details come to light, or when another trailer is released. Apologies if I've pronounced any Icelandic or Norwegian names incorrectly. Feel free to correct me down below. Thank you for watching.